society like Pakistan, where girls and women face a plethora of limitations, and there are so many social expectations that pressurize them. Who we can love or cannot love, what career we can choose or cannot choose, where we can go or cannot go. From the smallest to the biggest decisions, there's a lot of dictation. Are there any such personal experiences or observations that motivated you to create the characters in An Abundance of Wild Roses? And also, how much of this story is inspired by real-life events?
Thank you so much, Mahvish, and Assalamu alaikum, and good afternoon to all the wonderful people who've braved the traffic issues today. It's difficult to compete with cricket.
Yes.
It's just cricket that we're all here. Thank you for this question. I think, it would take about 3 hours to answer it. So first of all, I'd like to say that yes, the society that I've been born in, that most of us have been born in and have lived in, is patriarchal, but my home was very matriarchal. We lost our father very young, but even during his lifetime, my mother was a source of inspiration for him as well as us three. She was born in South Africa. She was the youngest member of the African National Congress at the age of 12. She was a Marxist. She was probably one of the first Muslim women at the London School of Economics in the 1940s. And she was the activist, not me as I've been described. I'm nothing, I'm nobody. My personal experiences of patriarchy actually began once I got married and left that home in which the dominance submission dynamic didn't really exist. I mean, for us, the sky was the limit. For us, we could go anywhere, everywhere. My sister was a theater director, my brother was an athlete, I was an athlete and in theater. So, I was also interested in anthropology, archaeology. We did everything. We went to digs, we went to the desert, we were up on top of the mountains. It was in my marriage that I saw what patriarchy does and how it actually convinces us as women to be at the bottom of that dominance submission dynamic. Because I don't want to belabor this, and I want to get straight to the second part of your question. If I recall correctly, you'd asked me whether there were any personal experiences. All writing, I think, is autobiographical because you are obviously writing from your prism, from your perspective, and from your experience of life and your struggle. I'm not sure whether you are referring to any particular woman character in my book, but there is a lot of abuse that one of my characters suffers, and I have described that abuse in detail, and that is the abuse that I suffered as a wife. And I have never shied from speaking about it. It's never been for me dirty linen. For me, I think it is my badge of courage, my badge of survival that I'm wearing by talking about the fact that I was an abused wife, I was a battered wife, coming very close to losing my life in certain instances. So I feel it is very important for women to stand up because we've survived, we are not victims. We have survived. And so in my work, because the book was born out of actually the Chief Minister of Gilgit-Baltistan asking me to come and help them, to help the government understand the phenomenon of the highest incidence of female suicide in northern Pakistan, taking place in the Hunza region. And Hunza is being seen by most of us as a picture postcard paradise, whereas there are layers and layers that are never addressed. And so when I went to live there to understand this phenomenon, I understood that I was not alone, of course, in the abuse I suffered. I was also not alone in wanting to end my life at the time of the suffering. And so I was able to empathize with those whose young girls, daughters had hung themselves and ended those lives. The book came out of that experience, but of course you know that it touches many other things.